School of Law have been featured at the international Moot Court competition in Geneva, Switzerland. Our reporter Alphas Lagat got to meet them in Nakuru and now reports.
As Dr. Fancy Tor, the Dean, describes the University of Kabarak Law School as no ordinary run-of-the-mill law school. So right now we're just going to have a conversation with the team leader, Mr. Otiso, as well as the Dean, as well as the Vice-Chancellor, Professor Henry Kiplagat, to just give us a perspective on what it means for them to have 4 of their students fitted internationally for their contribution in the Moot Court competitions. So right now I'm just going to be joined by their team leader, who's going to give us perspective on what exactly happened and introduce their students. A very good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for joining KTN today. Just give us a perspective on how long have you participated in Moot Court competitions as a university?
As a university, we've participated since the year 2012, when our first students went for the local and later other international Moot Court events. But this year we have been particularly successful for the reason that in March, in the All Kenya Moot Court competitions, we scooped all 6 awards which were available. And in April, we competed in this particular moot, which is the ELSA WTO Moot Court competition, in the African rounds, whereafter we qualified together with the Kenya School of Law, Rhodes University of South Africa, Tunisia University, and we went to Switzerland for the final oral rounds, where 4 teams are chosen from each region. With the grace of God, we managed to come back with 2 awards. The first award is the Spirit of ELSA Moot Court competition, which is given to the team which is most spirited, diplomatic, and determined in the competition. The second award was for the best orator in the final oral rounds from Africa, and that is Michael Olukoye. For that, he won a certain cash prize, and we are very grateful to God for the opportunity, and also to the university for supporting us in making that feat.
That's all right. Now, maybe just tell us what function does Moot Court competition serve, maybe in the legal field? What exactly does it do?
Okay, the Moot Court competitions give students an opportunity to sharpen their oral skills, their written skills, because they have to do memorials for purposes of the competition, and also their research skills. And the fact that we have been continuously winning this Moot Court competition shows the strength of the faculty at Kabarak University School of Law. And it is not mean feat to go ahead and win, be in the quarterfinals, sorry, in the finals in Africa, and go to the final oral rounds and compete alongside universities like Harvard, Columbia, and the Graduate Institute of Geneva, amongst others.
Maybe obviously you would introduce the 4 of them?
Yes, thank you very much. To my extreme right, the first one who will come here is Cedric Kadima. He's actually the team leader, and he was doing the second issue, and is also the Moot Court coordinator. Next is Michael Angeli Olukoye, who was the best oralist from Africa for this 28th edition. But in addition to that, he was actually the best oralist in the semi-final, just as the qualifying stage. Then we have Lawrence Kiptanui. This is a researcher, and sometimes I call him my team coach, my co-team coach, because he helps out in the research. And then we have a lady here, Annabelle Nanjira, and together they form a very formidable team. And we're grateful to God for this opportunity to represent Kabarak and, by extension, Africa.
Thank you very much. Let's just have a conversation with them, maybe Annabelle and Michael. How does it feel to be fitted as one of the best, internationally in this competition of Moot Court competition?
It was a great experience, especially competing with great teams like Harvard. We at least got to know much about trade law, and hopefully we'll pursue trade law as we're going to other levels of the education.
And for you, Michael, you've been fitted as the best orator in Africa. I mean, that is a big deal. Which area specifically have you ventured into in the legal arena, and how does it feel for you?
It feels very well and very nice to be recognized as one of the best orators in that competition. And also it's a combination of effort all through the 4 years in campus. As for your question as to what field of law I'd like to venture in, the specific field, as of now, I'm not yet sure, but what I will say for sure is that I am sure I will do litigation, do court, go to court and represent people.
Thank you very much for the four of you who've actually made the university very proud. And right now we're just going to be joined by the Dean, Dr. Fancy Tor, to just give us what have they done as a university to ensure that to this point the Kabarak University School of Law has excelled in not only in Africa but also in the whole world. Thank you so much, Dr. Fancy. What have you done as a school so far to ensure that the legal minds here not only are fitted just in the country, not only in Africa but the whole world?
As a school, first, we're very proud of their performance. Kabarak Law School is not an ordinary law school. We have the best facilities, diverse expertise among the faculty, and we routinely encourage our students to participate in what we call the internal moot courts, which give them the platform to hone their skills, and in due course, we select the best who represents us at the international level. So each student has a chance to not only acquire legal knowledge, but also enhance their expertise ultimately through the moot courts.
What sets out Kabarak University Law School from the rest of law schools in the country, perhaps?
Kabarak Law School is unique in two senses. One, we have a very well-stocked library. We equally have a very competent team. We also have a very serene learning environment. We encourage our students as well, not only to learn law, but we also train their hearts because we believe in training them in a biblical perspective. That is what makes us a unique learning environment.
Thank you so much, Dr. Fancy. And as we finish up, obviously, it's important that we have a conversation with Professor Henry Kiplagat, who is the Vice Chancellor of the whole of Kabarak University, to just tell us what he feels that his 4 students now are recognized internationally. Thank you so much, Professor, for having time for us today. What is the message for your students today?
Well, I'm just grateful to God because the 4 students have made us proud. The fact that they distinguished themselves in an international competition means that the processes here in Kabarak University under which they go are of international standard, because you cannot be recognized internationally if you don't meet those international standards. So these students have been prepared well. And I would like to recognize the role played by the faculty of the School of Law. We have competent men and women in that area who are preparing students who will actually fit in the legal fraternity after graduation. And one thing that the university does is through the School of Law, the university exposes students to both theoretical law and practical law. So even as they participate in these moot courts, they are undergoing through some practice. And apart from that, the university also always invites distinguished scholars who are practicing law, either in as magistrates or even justices of high court, and other distinguished law scholars, so that these students can identify who their role models should be. And that definitely has been demonstrated by the performance of these 4 great students. So this is a message to the entire Kabarak University students that Kabarak University is committed to quality training, and each of them pursuing any course in this university will be able to fit into the marketplace in the whole world. We are training students for the world, not for the local situation, or not only for this country, but for the entire world. So we are very proud of it.
Fair enough, Professor. Thank you for that. There is this narrative of half-baked graduates that has been floating the market some time back. And you've mentioned that moot court and perhaps role models as 2 of the ways that perhaps tries to bridge the knowledge gap for the law students. Any other way perhaps that you are working around the clock to ensure that the kind of graduates that get out of Kabarak University, specifically law school, are competent enough to meet the world and meet the needs, the legal needs that are required outside there?
Yes, Kabarak University is making deliberate efforts to ensure that all our students, not only from the School of Law, but also from the other 6 schools, are properly equipped with the 21st century skills. We train our students to be critical thinkers. We train our students to be good communicators. And there is a deliberate move to link our academic schools with industry, so that when the two work together, the students will be prepared very well to go out there and deliver service in different areas of training. And that is very, very key to us. Even before we come up with our programs, we do what we call the training needs assessments. We find out what industry needs, and then we factor that into our different curricula in the university. And that is what is setting us apart. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Professor Henry Kip Lagat, who is the Vice Chancellor of Kabarak University, just emphasizing the need of Moot Court, as well as ensuring that the students here, not only the law students, but also the entire student fraternity, are equipped with the knowledge and the skills that are necessary out there to be competent practitioners in the market. Now that is the conversation that we've had here in Kabarak Law School, and now the 4 students now being fitted internationally as having really scoped and stood out as competent law students who would go out into the market to impact society. That's what we have for you today from Kabarak University. Back to you in studio.